Hi everybody and welcome to today's lecture. Today, as you can see here, we are going to be studying lesson number 36 called Meditation and Koans. Before starting, remember that if you want to be part of our WhatsApp group, you're going to be finding the access link in the description of this video. Also, you're going to be finding the access link to the Telegram group, and you're going to be finding the access link to the YouTube channel. In that channel, we have all the videos, all the lectures we've been studying along this course. This self-knowledge course in which we're going to be receiving the tools to achieve self-realization of our being, to awaken our consciousness, and to develop all the virtues, faculties, and powers latent within each one of us. Okay, remember that if you have any question, you can leave it down there in the comment section down below, and we are going to be very happy to answer any question you may have or to clear out any doubt you may have regarding this topic or regarding this course in general. Okay, well, today we will continue, as you can see here, we will continue learning about meditation. This time we will learn about transcendental meditation and an easy technique to achieve it, and thus enter the sixth and seventh dimensions of nature, also known as the heavens. Well, we will start then by remembering what meditation is. Meditation is the breath of the wise. Just as our physical body is nourished by food we consume, consciousness is nourished or developed through meditation. That is the way to acquire wisdom. That is why you have to know how to be serious. You have to know how to change if you really don't want to fail esoteric work. Meditation is essential when we sincerely want such a change. He who doesn't know how to meditate, the superficial, the dull, will never be able to dissolve the ego. He will always be a helpless log among the furious sea of life. We need to become serious and put aside so much nonsense that abounds in esotericism, and cheap pseudo-occultism. There are many meditations, but we're going to divide them into two groups: contemplative meditations and transcendental meditations. In no way do we desire the inconsequential, superficial, and vain meditation that we find everywhere. These meditations that only lead us to relax based on listening to a sound, smelling an aroma, imagining and contemplating this or that thing. When we finish one of these meditations, we remain the same. And that state of relaxation that we have reached at any moment through this meditation, and well, for any reason is lost. Okay, we are really interested in transcendental and real meditation. We have to know how to distinguish and manage what it is one thing and what it is the other. Transcendental meditation is different. It seeks changes in the being. After a person does a reflective meditation, for example, on this or that defect or situation, he obtains wisdom and understanding about that defect and situation and achieve increasingly deeper changes that, of course, will have an impact on his outside life. When a person manages to go to the sixth and seventh dimensions, the wisdom and strength he brings from there are tremendous and obtains a lot of encouragement to continue advancing in the inner work. When we want wisdom, we have no choice but to learn to meditate. To meditate is to enter the sixth and seventh dimensions of nature, and this can only be done in one way: by muzzling the ego and releasing the essence. That exercise, after you learn to do it, becomes very simple. Let us remember that the sixth dimension is the causal world and the world of truth. And the seventh dimension is the great reality or the great truth. In these worlds, we can experience what it feels like to live without the ego. We can directly experience the truth and the reality. In these dimensions, we can visit sacred temples, masters of the White Lodge. We can receive answers to questions for which the mind has no answers, because the causal things and the truth go beyond the mind. Even with this practice, we can enter the world of antimatter and experience what is known as the illuminating void, or that union with God, who is omnipresent and omnipotent. The impediment so that our essence can go to the higher dimension is the ego. Therefore, we have to apply a technique to make aside the ego from the path of the essence in the first place. To do this, we must quiet the mind through a process of imagination that completes the active and passive cycles of our defects, so that the critical point of balance is reached. We achieve this through the development. Well, this is the path of the essence. Well, here. We achieve this through the development of an evolutionary thought and then an involutionary thought. When this cycle is completed, the mind quiets. This process is very easy. We can take a plant, for example, and we begin to imagine its entire evolution process from the moment we have the seed and prepare the ground to plant it until it grows and bears fruit. For the involutionary thought, you imagine how the plant begins to decrease, to lose its leaves until it dries up and dies. Once this is done and the mind is silent, it is time to muzzle the ego. And for this, we will use the koan. A koan is a phrase. Okay, here we see it. Is a phrase without an answer. Generally paradoxical. The mind always tries to answer it, but it cannot because it doesn't know the answer. Then the thinking process becomes saturated and exhausted and gives way to consciousness. Thus the ego is gagged and the essence is released for a few moments. Some koans that we can use are, for example, if these two hands, when they clap, sound like this, we make this clap noise. What does one sound like? And we focus on how one sounds, and we wait for the answer until the essence escapes. Also, another koan is to ask ourselves, where is the truth? And then we remain waiting for the answer. Remember that the truth is in the sixth dimension, okay? Also, we can ask ourselves, where is the void? That's another unanswered phrase. And, well, we stay there waiting. And when we see the gap, well, we go there because we are looking for a gap, okay? Then we only ask ourselves, where is the void, until we see this gap. Another koan is this. If all things are reduced to unity, what is unity reduced to? There we stay, still waiting until it happens. The koan is necessary, okay? It's necessary until the escape occurs. And the first we learn, the claps, is very effective, okay? Also, we need to know that only one koan should be used at a practice. So now let's explain how the practice for meditation with koans is done. First, you always have to find a quiet place. You can do it during the day in the office or in a place where you can lock yourself up and no one will bother you, or have a meditation room. You will see the importance of having that kind of place. This is a place to seek power and wisdom, so it is a very special place. Then you're going to do the belly link conjuration and the magic circle, as we learned on conference number 7. Remember that the belly link is going to clean the environment, and with the magic circle we are going to be closing that place, okay? So any entity, bad energies, well, can't come in again. Then we're going to make a plea to the Father, to the Divine Mother, for their assistance with our own words and with good imagination. Then comes the relaxation, as simple as possible, okay? We're going to look for our body to be comfortable, that nothing mortifies it. It is advisable to relax the mind, and we are going to do this listening to sounds for at least 1 minute. Also, we're going to be relaxing the emotion with the process of breathing, okay? Inhalation and exhalation, deeply and slowly for 1 minute to 3 minutes, depending on the tensions we have in our emotional center. And also we're going to be relaxing our physical body with the imagination, okay? We can imagine a green light covering our whole body, relaxing our whole body. Well, when we feel very relaxed, then we take the next step. The evolutionary thought. For example, I imagine preparing a plot of ground, weed it, I disinfect the ground, I fertilize it, prepare a seed bed, place the seeds until they germinate, make the furrows, transplant them, water them, imagine how they are born and grow. After a while they give buds, they start to bloom, the rose bush becomes beautiful. We can even feel its aroma. It gives flowers and flowers. It reaches its maximum point of development of evolution. Then comes the involutionary thought. We imagine how the rose bush is withering, drying. It no longer produces roses. It dries completely. The wind knocks it down. The wind carries away the fallen branches. Everything is over and gone. When you complete this cycle, the evolution and involution of evolution and involution, then comes the synthesis of thought, or stillness of the mind. Now is when we place the koan, whichever we had chosen, okay? The first one, as I said before, for example, is very effective, and it goes this way. If those two hands, when they clap, sound like this, what does one sound like? And we focus on trying to know how one sounds, and we wait for the answer until the essence escapes. Just try to imagine an answer for that. The ego that is always talking in our heads, in our head, and always has an answer for everything, will not have it, and in this way will be gagged, silent, not having what to say. Well, we may feel some symptoms such as vertigo, detachment. We can see ourselves going through a light tunnel. We can feel the unity with the universe. We may appear in a lucid dream, and other symptoms similar to those of astral unfolding may appear. The important thing is that we let ourselves go and not succumb to the fear that we may feel at that moment. Since this is an obstacle for the essence to rise and achieve success in the practice, okay? We must practice patiently until we achieve it. Remember that practice makes perfect. If we are constant, the time will undoubtedly come when we'll be able to experience the Samadhi, okay? And well, This has been today's lesson. I hope you've been encouraged to practice and in this way reach direct experimentation of the truth. For next week, well, this Thursday, we will be talking about another important practice in this knowledge belonging to the science pillar of wisdom. We will be talking about astral unfolding, and we're going to be teaching the jump technique. So thank you very much for being here, and see you later.